You have probably heard people talk about intermittent fasting, from doctors to celebrities to your friends, claiming it's the secret to better health, weight loss, and even longevity. But what is intermittent fasting and what is the truth behind the claimed benefits? Does intermittent fasting really work? And is intermittent fasting safe for everyone? Hi, I'm Dr. Bazgha Khalid. I'm a board certified internal medicine and obesity medicine doctor. And today, let's break down intermittent fasting in simple terms and discuss what is intermittent fasting, types of intermittent fasting, health benefits of intermittent fasting, myths versus facts, risks, and when to avoid intermittent fasting with GLP-1 GIP medications. Stay till the end, and I'll also share my tips on how to start fasting safely and when you should avoid fasting. Let's start by understanding what is intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is not a diet, but a pattern of eating that focuses on when you eat, not what you eat. However, what you eat in the eating window does have a significant impact on overall success and benefits of intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting means cycling between periods of eating and periods of fasting or not eating. So essentially, your day alternates between periods of eating and fasting when you eat nothing or only have calorie free drinks like water, black coffee, or tea. Let's understand what fasting does in the body. During fasting, your body's insulin level drops, which allows your body to burn stored fat for energy instead of relying on food. When you eat again, your body refuels and rebuilds. This cycle helps improve metabolism, blood sugar control, and even cell repair through a process called autophagy, where your body removes damaged cells and regenerates new ones. In short, fasting gives your body a break from high insulin levels in response to food, allowing it to use stored energy and reset hormone balance and metabolism. So, what are the types of intermittent fasting? Some of the most popular fasting methods are 16 to 8 method. In this, you fast for 16 hours and eat within an 8-hour window. For example, you fast for 16 hours, let's say from 8 p.m. to 12 noon the next day, and then you eat your meals between 12 noon through 8 p.m. During the fasting window, you can drink water, black coffee, or tea, but no calories or food. Another type is 18 to 6. In this, you fast for 18 hours and have a 6-hour eating window. Or 14 to 10, in which there is 14 hours of fasting and 10 hours of eating window. You can also do 12 hours of fasting and 12 hours of eating window. This is actually very easy and beginner friendly. Think of this as an early dinner and no eating past 8 p.m. And then having your breakfast around 8 a.m. the next morning. So you already have 12 hours of fasting from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. just by adjusting your meal timings a little bit. However, you can delay breakfast for a few hours and easily stretch the fasting window to 14 or even 15 hours if you like. And there is alternate day fasting. This means 24 hours fasting every other day. Also, there is another version called OMAD, or one meal a day, in which you eat all your daily calories in one sitting. And then there are extended fasts like 3 days or 5 days or 7 days or even longer. These longer extended fasts should only be done under medical supervision of your doctor, ideally in a monitored environment. Now let's understand the science behind intermittent fasting. Let's see what research actually says about intermittent fasting. The New England Journal of Medicine review published in 2020 found intermittent fasting improves metabolism, insulin sensitivity, brain health, and inflammation. The cell metabolism trial in 2019 showed early time restricted feeding, like eating between 8 a.m. through 2 p.m., improved blood sugar and blood pressure even without weight loss. A JAMA internal medicine study in 2017 found intermittent fasting led to similar or slightly better weight loss than daily calorie restriction. Also, many people found it easier to stick to. In simple words, clinical research shows that fasting helps lower insulin, boosts fat burning, improves blood sugar, and supports your body's repair processes. Let's discuss the health benefits of intermittent fasting. Number one, weight loss. Intermittent fasting can help reduce calorie intake naturally and therefore help with weight loss. A 2020 meta-analysis in obesity review showed an average of 3 to 8% weight loss over 8 to 12 weeks of intermittent fasting. Second benefit is improved insulin sensitivity. Intermittent fasting helps better blood sugar regulation and prevents or even reverse prediabetes and type 2 diabetes. Clinical study in cell metabolism published in 2019 showed improved glucose control in overweight adults as a result of intermittent fasting. Another benefit of intermittent fasting is reduced inflammation. Aging research reviews published in 2021 found fasting lowered inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein, commonly called CRP, and interleukin 6. Reduction in inflammatory markers means less inflammation in the body. This is a huge benefit of fasting. Another benefit is heart health. Intermittent fasting helps lower bad cholesterol, blood pressure, and triglycerides. Another benefit of intermittent fasting is longevity and brain health. Study published in Neuroscience in 2020 showed that fasting activates cell repair and autophagy. Autophagy is the body's natural process of cleaning out damaged cells. So, fasting either repairs damaged cells or gets rid of the damaged cells, and therefore these processes are linked to longer lifespan. Let's talk about intermittent fasting myths versus facts. Myth is fasting slows metabolism. However, the fact is that studies show short-term fasting actually increases metabolism slightly due to higher norepinephrine levels. Another myth is you lose muscle when fasting. Fact is, with adequate protein intake, fasting mainly burns fat, not muscle. Another myth is you have to skip breakfast. Not always true. You can choose your fasting window based on your lifestyle, morning or evening, whatever works the best for you. Another myth is it's a crash diet. However, the fact is that intermittent fasting is a sustainable eating pattern, not a quick fix. Let's talk about when to avoid intermittent fasting. You should avoid intermittent fasting or discuss with your doctor if you have type 1 diabetes or uncontrolled type 2 diabetes, or if you're pregnant or breastfeeding or have a history of eating disorder, or if you take medications that must be taken with food, like some diabetic medications like insulin. Next, let's talk about intermittent fasting and weight loss medications, especially GLP-1 GIP medications. I'm a weight loss doctor and I prescribe GLP-1 GIP medications for chronic weight management. And many of my patients ask if they can combine intermittent fasting with GLP-1 or GLP-1 GIP medications like semaglutide with brand names Ozempic or Wegovy, or tirzepatide with brand names Mounjaro or Zepbound. The answer is yes, but with caution. Both fasting and GLP-1 medications slow digestion, while GLP-1 medications also reduce appetite. So if you want to combine GLP-1 medications with intermittent fasting, then start slow, ensure adequate hydration and protein intake, and watch for nausea, low blood sugar, fatigue, or other side effects. There are no large clinical trials yet on combining intermittent fasting with GLP-1 medications, but early data and clinical experience show potentially additive benefits of intermittent fasting with GLP-1 medications on weight loss, when done safely under supervision of your weight loss doctor. However, if you find meeting your protein and fiber goals hard on GLP-1 medications due to significant appetite suppression, then it's best to avoid intermittent fasting as it will further shorten your eating window and make it much harder to get adequate protein and fiber in your diet. Adequate protein and fiber in your diet is key to success on GLP-1 medications. You can find more on GLP-1 medications and protein and fiber goals when you're on these medications in my other videos in GLP-1 weight loss guide on my channel playlist. So what are the risks and side effects of intermittent fasting? Most people tolerate intermittent fasting well, but early side effects may include fatigue or headache, especially in the first week of fasting, irritability or dizziness, especially if you become dehydrated. And you may find yourself overeating during eating window, or hypoglycemia or low blood sugar, especially in diabetics. So diabetics should always consult with their doctor before fasting. Now let's talk about do's and don'ts on intermittent fasting. Do's are start slow, maybe with 12 hours fasting window, and then gradually increase as your body gets adjusted to fasting. Stay very well hydrated. Eat enough protein and fiber in your eating window. Get electrolytes like salt, magnesium, potassium. Don'ts on intermittent fasting are don't binge eat after fasting, don't use fasting to make up for overeating, don't ignore warning signs like severe dizziness or fainting or dehydration or low blood sugar. If you develop any serious symptoms, then please stop fasting and consult with your doctor. So, what are the questions to ask your doctor before starting intermittent fasting? Is fasting safe for my medical conditions? Can I take my medications during fasting hours? This is especially important if you are diabetic and are on diabetic medications. If that is the case, I recommend not to start intermittent fasting without discussing and getting clearance from your doctor, as some of the diabetic medications may cause serious hypoglycemia or low blood sugar due to fasting. Let's get back to questions you should be asking your doctor about intermittent fasting. What's the best fasting schedule based on my medical history? How can I make sure I am not losing muscle while I am fasting? Can I combine fasting with GLP-1, GIP medications, or other weight loss medications safely? So what are the key takeaways? Intermittent fasting isn't about deprivation, it's about structure. If done safely, intermittent fasting can help with weight loss, metabolic health, and longevity. But it's not a one size fits all plan. It works the best if tailored to your health, schedule, and comfort. So, best to discuss this with your doctor. If you're thinking about starting intermittent fasting, start small, stay consistent, and remember, progress, not perfection. Always check with your doctor before making any major dietary changes, especially if you are on medications or have chronic health conditions. If you have tried intermittent fasting in the past or currently doing intermittent fasting, please comment below what your intermittent fasting schedule is and what benefits have you noticed. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. It will really help the channel grow so that I can continue to make evidence-based content for you. Stay healthy, happy, and well. Bye for now.